There's a hidden danger almost nobody sees. The retail grid that feeds your pantry and medicine cabinet is quietly collapsing, one lease, one liquidation at a time. I've been combing bankruptcy dockets, lease maps, and internal memos, and what I am seeing points to critical items gone before January 2026. Tonight I'll show you the 15 must-buys before shelves thin out, what to grab, how much, and why it matters. Stay with me, because number 7 is the sleeper most people miss, and the number 12 is the paper lifeline that keeps your family moving when systems jam. Use these quick teaser drops between chapters to sustain tension and authority. According to the filings I'm tracking, this one could vanish by Q1 2026. Details in number 4. Insiders flagged a supply pinch here. Number 9 can save you months of headaches. Watch the unit economics. Once these stores flip formats, this price per calorie edge disappears. See number 1. The closure map I'm watching shows a pharmacy gap opening fast. Prepare in number 8. Number 1. Core Pantry Power. It starts quietly, the discount shelves you rely on for cheap essentials suddenly half empty, a store closing sign taped to the door. Big Lots, once the bargain hunter's paradise, is shuttering over 340 stores across the U.S., including local hits in Stewart and Vero Beach. Only 2 hang on in Fort Pierce and Jensen Beach. But for how long? This isn't just a retail story. It's a warning. When discount chains collapse first, it signals that the supply chain's lowest rung, the one millions depend on, is already breaking. Elevated inflation has gutted the buying power of working families, and when people stop affording basics, companies stop stocking them. That's when scarcity spreads. Your countermeasure is simple but urgent. Build your core pantry now, before prices spike again. Start with high-calorie, long-life staples: rice, beans, flour, oil, sugar, and salt, the foundation of survival nutrition. Store them in sealed buckets with oxygen absorbers. Rotate monthly. Buy bulk while it's still affordable. One 25-pound sack of rice can feed a family for weeks. Every empty Big Lots isn't just a business loss. It is a preview of what happens when the middle class runs out of cushion. The shelves that vanish first are the ones you'll miss the most. CTA. Don't wait for another closing sale. Stock these staples today, because by spring 2026, the cheap calories could be gone for good. Number 2. Home Cooking Kit. When Burger King quietly closed 3 locations in St. Lucie County, Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie, and Virginia Avenue, corporate offered no reason, no statement, nothing. Just dark windows and cold grills. That silence speaks volumes. The fast food model, cheap, fast, everywhere, is cracking under rising food costs, high wages, and thinning profit margins. It's a pattern spreading across America, and soon you'll feel it at your dinner table. So prepare to feed yourself when convenience dies. Build a home cooking system that doesn't depend on a fragile grid. A camp stove with butane or propane, a cast iron skillet, and a Dutch oven that can handle any heat source. Stock backup fuels, propane canisters, butane, or even charcoal, and store them safely. Add meal bases that cook fast and last long: pasta, canned tomatoes, lentils, and dehydrated veggies. The key is redundancy. 2 ways to cook, 2 sources of heat, 2 weeks of fuel. If the drive-thru fails and delivery apps go dark, your kitchen becomes your fortress. Each closed Burger King isn't just lost burgers, it's lost jobs, lost meals, and lost normalcy. When restaurants vanish, people who can't cook will struggle first. Don't be one of them. CTA. Assemble your cooking and fuel kit this week. If you can't make a hot meal without power, you're already dependent, and dependence is dangerous in a crisis. Number 3. Protein preservation. When Red Lobster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on May 19th, it wasn't just another restaurant collapse. It was a red flag for protein supply in America. Nearly 100 locations closed, including the Jensen Beach spot on NW Federal Highway, leaving only one lonely outpost in Fort Pierce. Why did it fall? A 30% customer decline since 2019, reckless all-you-can-eat shrimp promos, and skyrocketing seafood prices. That's what happens when protein becomes unaffordable. And here's the brutal truth. When corporate kitchens can't afford shrimp, it won't be long before you can't either. Start reclaiming control over your own protein supply now. Stock canned tuna, chicken, salmon, and dry beans. Cheap, dense, shelf-stable sources that last years. Learn to pressure canned meats, broths, and stews. It's the old-world method modern families forgot. If you rely on a freezer, plan for outages. Buy a generator, use frozen water jugs, and keep a backup cooler ready. Inflation has already hit meat hardest, and supply disruptions will only deepen that wound. Every shuttered red lobster means another signal. Protein is turning from a comfort into a commodity. CTA. Don't wait until seafood and chicken double in price again. Build your 60-day protein buffer. Because once meat plants cut shifts or fuel spikes again, those cans and jars will be worth more than gold. Number 4. Grocery Shift Playbook. The Winn-Dixie name that fed generations across the South is disappearing, swallowed by Aldi's expansion after the German giant bought out Southeastern grocers. On the Treasure Coast, stores in Jensen Beach and Sebastian are being stripped and rebuilt, gone by February 2026. What replaces them isn't to the same neighborhood market you remember. Aldi's low-cost model runs on smaller inventories, private labels, and cash efficiency. Great for deals, terrible for variety. When chains consolidate, choice dies first, and then resilience. If a few multinational players control your groceries, a single supply hiccup becomes a regional famine. Your defense? Build a personal price map. Track prices per ounce across your top 30 items. Identify which staples are cheapest at Aldi, which are still better at warehouse clubs, and which you can bulk order online. Keep a cash buffer hidden away for food runs, because digital outages or card freezes can hit any time. When corporate grocery turns algorithmic, local shoppers become data, not customers. CTA. Shop smart, not scared, yet act fast. Once these conversions finish, the old Winn-Dixie prices and products will be gone forever. Lock in your pantry staples now, while you still recognize the brands on the shelf. Number 5. Workwear and footwear stack. Remember Express, that mall staple where you could grab a sharp outfit for a job interview or night out? On April 22nd, it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, another casualty of America's dying mall culture. The Treasure Coast Square Mall still has one hanging on, for now, but you and I both know what comes next. Empty storefronts and clearance racks that vanish overnight. When clothing retailers collapse, the impact goes beyond fashion. It's about durability, comfort, and readiness. In economic downturns, quality workwear becomes priceless. That's why now is the time to stock rugged, repairable clothing built to last. Heavy denim or canvas pants, waterproof boots, merino wool socks, and layered outerwear. Prioritize neutral colors, natural fibers, and gear that resists wear. Keep a sewing kit, leather conditioner, and extra laces, because when inflation spikes again, even basics will cost double. Think in terms of seasons and redundancy. 2 rugged pants, 2 base layers, 1 insulated jacket, and footwear for both labor and travel. When stores like Express fold, the market shifts from affordable quality to cheap disposables that don't last. CTA. Shop with purpose. Build a capsule of durable essentials before manufacturing cutbacks shrink variety even further. The next time you see everything must go, take it literally. It's your last chance to own reliable gear before it's gone. Number 6. Heat and shelter textiles. The fall of Macy's, the once mighty department store that anchored every mall, signals more than just retail decline. It's a warning about comfort, warmth, and self-sufficiency. 65 stores are closing by the end of this year, with another 150 gone by 2026, as the company hacks off unproductive locations to survive. The lone Treasure Coast Macy's may dodge the axe for now, but the pattern is clear. Big box comfort is dying. When those shelves empty, so will your chance to buy quality home textiles, and that's no small loss. In a power or fuel crisis, thermal blankets, wool throws, blackout curtains, and heavy towels become essential tools of survival. They insulate, conserve heat, and protect you when the grid falters. Thermal curtains can cut indoor heat loss by up to 30%, while layered bedding replaces lost HVAC comfort. Stock cotton sheets for breathability, wool or fleece blankets for winter, and extra towels for sanitation. Once Macy's and similar retailers disappear, the mid-tier options vanish, leaving only overpriced or low-quality imports. CTA. Build a home textile reserve now. 1 warm blanket and 1 blackout curtain per occupied room. Don't wait until another winter's energy bill doubles or local stores shutter. When warmth becomes a commodity, you'll be glad you stored it early. Number 7. Spice and Morale Pantry. When Tijuana Flats filed for Chapter 11 on April 19th, after overexpanding and closing 11 locations from Florida to Virginia, it wasn't just another restaurant failure. It was a symbol of how flavor itself is vanishing from affordability. The Stewart and Port St. Lucie stores are still open, but for how long? Inflation has already stripped fun from the dinner table. When even fast casual tacos can't survive, you know margins are thin. That's why morale food matters. In tough times, flavor keeps spirits alive. Without spices and acids, survival meals become misery rations. Stock a core kit: salt, black pepper, chili powder, garlic, cumin, paprika, and vinegar. The foundation of every cuisine. Add tortilla flour, masa harina, shelf-stable sauces, and citrus powder to keep meals exciting when options shrink. These items are light, cheap, and shelf-stable for years. When restaurants fade, your kitchen becomes the last bastion of taste and normalcy. CTA. Don't underestimate flavor. It's the difference between endurance and collapse. Build a 2-year spice shelf now, before another wave of closures turns dinner into bland survival fuel. Because once supply chains thin, the real luxury won't be meat, it'll be seasoning. Number 8. Med and First Aid Backbone. Walgreens, the neighborhood constant, the corner store you trusted for prescriptions and last-minute meds, is cutting 200 stores nationwide over the next 3 years. The company says your area might be safe, for now, but that phrase never lasts long. This is what a healthcare access collapse looks like. Long drives for antibiotics, no late-night pharmacies, and workers left jobless. Inflation, high rents, and online competition have gutted their model. So you must become your own first line of care. Build a 90-day medical and hygiene reserve. Start with over-the-counter basics: acetaminophen, ibuprofen, allergy tablets, antacids, electrolyte packs, antiseptics, bandages, and gauze. Add thermometers, tweezers, gloves, and wound closures. Talk to your doctor about extended or 90-day prescription fills and rotate them properly. Don't forget hygiene: soap, toothpaste, feminine products, disinfectant wipes, and dental repair kits. In a health crisis or supply disruption, these become priceless, sometimes even tradable. Once Walgreens shutters hundreds of pharmacies, deserts of access will open, especially in smaller towns. CTA. Build your own pharmacy now, while it's easy and cheap. Label and store everything by category. If your local drugstore goes dark next year, your medicine shelf might be the only healthcare system your family has left. Number 9. Apparel redundancy. Kohl's, once the weekend destination for back-to-school shopping and clearance treasure hunts, is now staring down a 9% drop in sales and plans to shut at least 85 stores in 2025. Inflation is bleeding customers dry, forcing families to prioritize fuel and food over new clothes. This isn't just retail decay. It's a coming shortage in affordable essentials like socks, underwear, and workwear. Think about it. When these chains vanish, the only options left will be cheap imports or overpriced niche brands, both of which crumble fast under daily wear. Before this wave of closures hits your town, lock down your apparel redundancy plan. For each family member, stock 10 to 14 pairs of socks, underwear, gloves, and seasonal hats. Focus on comfort fabrics: cotton for breathability, wool for warmth, and synthetics for moisture control. Add hand-washing tools, a plunger washer, or drying lines so you can maintain hygiene even if utilities spike or fail. When mass retailers fade, supply shrinks and sizes disappear overnight. You don't want to depend on one overpriced website for basic clothing. CTA. Don't wait until you're rationing socks like fuel. Restock your wearable essentials now while the shelves are full, because by fall 2025, you'll see clothing prices follow the same curve as food: up, fast, and relentless. Number 10. Household soft goods and formal needs. JCPenney, once the all-American department store for everything from suits to sheets, is closing 50 more stores in 2025 after barely scraping 2% growth in a market that needed triple that to stay alive. Their revamp failed, leaving behind ghost malls and hollowed anchor wings. But this isn't just nostalgia. It is a signal to secure the basics of dignity and presentation while you still can. Crises don't erase job interviews, funerals, or winter storms. They make them harder. Stock formal wear, coats, belts, ties, and dress shoes for every adult in your home. Add spare linens, blankets, and towels, because when replacements vanish, comfort becomes currency. Vacuum seal what you don't use often. Store by size and season. In collapse periods, clothing isn't about fashion. It's about identity, respect, and survival in public spaces. Once chains like JCPenney disappear, mid-tier quality will be replaced by fast fashion junk that falls apart in months. CTA. Before these department stores fade completely, buy the durable, timeless pieces now: coats, dress shirts, bedding that won't wear out under pressure. A well-kept wardrobe isn't vanity. It's resilience against a system that's falling apart thread by thread.
Number 11. Tools and small appliances. Sears, the original American hardware empire, is collapsing again, with 40 more stores set to close in 2025 after a staggering 133% drop in same-store sales last year. For decades, Sears was the go-to for craftsman tools, appliances, and home repair gear. Now those aisles are fading into history, and with them goes a generation's worth of self-reliance infrastructure. When tools vanish from local shelves, small breakdowns become big problems. You need to own the means of repair, not rely on someone else's inventory. Start building your Tier 1 home tool chest: hammer, screwdrivers, wrenches, pliers, saws, drills, fasteners, tape, and sealant. Add diagnostic tools like a multimeter, a flashlight kit, and manual backups for anything that runs on power. Keep small spares: belts, fuses, filters, and gaskets for your most used appliances. Because when inflation hits hard goods next, supply chains will favor commercial buyers, not individuals. Every closed Sears means fewer places to buy what keeps your home functional. Once it's gone, you're left with overpriced imports or nothing at all. CTA. Don't wait until your only local hardware option is online shipping delays. Build your repair arsenal now, because when systems fail, the people with tools and know-how rule what's left standing.
Number 12. Paper and print. Lifeline. The fall of Office Depot, closing 120 stores by mid-2025, marks the quiet disappearance of something most people wouldn't notice until it's too late: paper infrastructure. Their 2024 report showed an 8% decline in same-store sales, the fourth straight year of losses, as home offices go digital and companies cut supply orders. But here's the hidden risk. When systems go down, bank networks, internet access, or cloud drives, you'll wish you had hard copies. Build your paper and print Lifeline now. Store physical copies of IDs, insurance cards, birth certificates, home deeds, vehicle titles, prescriptions, and emergency contacts in waterproof sleeves. Keep printed maps, not just GPS links. Stock printer paper, toner or ink cartridges, pens, notebooks, and labels, enough for at least 6 months. A small home printer, even an old one, can be a survival tool when digital forms or confirmations are unreachable. Office Depot called its closures inevitable, but that's corporate speak for you're on your own. The next supply crunch will hit office goods hard. Paper mills have already scaled back, and ink costs are spiking. CTA. Print. Don't just save. The future of preparedness is analog. Once your nearest Office Depot shuts its lights, the paper trail of your life becomes your responsibility. So safeguard it now, while reams still cost dollars, not desperation. Number 13. Ship hot copy and school reserves. The decline of Staples, cutting 70 more stores in 2025 after a 5% revenue drop and 15% fewer walk-in customers, is another nail in the coffin of hands-on preparedness. Once the go-to for school and work essentials, these stores are fading as digital life replaces real materials. But here's the catch. When a system crash, cyber attack, or power outage hits, physical backups keep life moving. Stock up now on the paper-based and mailing tools that once filled every Staples aisle. Binders, folders, sheet protectors, notebooks, pens, markers, tape, and bubble mailers. Add printer labels and envelopes for when online bill pay or digital forms fail. Create a home ship station with boxes, tape guns, and scales. You can send or barter goods even if stores are shuttered. Think of it as rebuilding local capability in miniature. What the digital world replaced, you're reclaiming. When Staples vanishes, replacement options dry up fast, and smaller shops can't compete on supply volume or price. CTA. Assemble a 6-month stockpile of office and school essentials before they become specialty items. These basics are just about paperwork. They re-tools of independence in a time when most people want to know how to function without an app. Number 14. Smart Bulk System. Even the warehouse giants are cracking. Sam's Club, once the titan of bulk buying, is closing 20 underperforming clubs after reporting a 7% revenue loss and a drop in membership renewals from 89% to 86%. That's millions walking away from the bulk economy. Why? Because inflation is crushing disposable income, and even buying in bulk doesn't save money when cash flow dries up. This is your cue to build a smarter bulk strategy that doesn't depend on corporate survival. Focus on high-rotation items: rice, beans, oats, flour, sugar, oil, toilet paper, soap, and cleaning supplies. Track shelf life, label dates, and rotate constantly. First in, first out. If space or funds are tight, form a micro co-op with 2 to 5 trusted families. Split warehouse buys, rotate duties, and share transportation. Keep spreadsheets of cost per serving and price trends, so you know when a deal is a trap. If closures continue through 2026, the days of endless aisles of cheap bulk goods will end. Warehouse access will consolidate, and smaller towns will be left out entirely. CTA. Don't just hoard, organize. Turn your pantry into a supply chain that outlasts theirs. Because when the bulk giants fall, only those who learned their math and managed their stores will stay fed, clean, and calm in the chaos that follows. Number 15. Home Hardening Kit Lowe's, America's second-largest home improvement chain, is closing 30 more stores in 2025 after only 3% sales growth last year, proof that even the DIY backbone of the country is bending under inflation and shrinking consumer budgets. Each shuttered store means fewer supplies for repairs, fewer tools for homeowners, and fewer options when something breaks during a crisis. When the grid flickers, when storms roll in, or when prices for lumber and hardware skyrocket again, you don't want to be standing in a line that no longer exists. Harden your home now while materials are still available. Build a core repair and maintenance kit. Sealants, silicone butyl and roof patch. Fasteners, screws, nails, anchors, zip ties. Duct tape, PVC repair kits. Paint and primer filters for HVAC and water PPE. Gloves, masks, goggles, and basic plumbing and electrical tools. Add tarps, flashlights, and fire extinguishers, because when infrastructure falters, small problems can become catastrophic. Each low S that closes is a signal. The hands-on household is being replaced by one that can only call for help. Don't join that dependency. CTA. Use this weekend to inspect your home for weak points. Roof seams, leaky faucets, air leaks, water filters. Buy replacements now, not when the last hardware store in town locks its doors. Because when supply dries up, the only home still standing will be the one already fortified. You've just seen the pattern. 15 major retailers, all crumbling in real time. This isn't coincidence, it's the collapse of convenience, the slow-motion unraveling of the American supply chain. Every closure is a warning flare. If the stores can't survive, neither can unprepared households. Don't wait for the next bankruptcy headline. Start with one tote, one shelf, one system, and build outward. Hope won't fill your pantry, but action will. Stock, fix, protect, repeat. Subscribe for the next chapter in your readiness plan, and share this before someone you care about wakes up too late.